Hey guys, so I just got back from an ice cream social celebrating the last full day of band camp, but I didn't socialize with anyone because I have no friends and I don't know how to make them. I hate college. I hate it so much.
That's not easy to watch. Human beings are built for social connections, so loneliness, isolation, feeling like you didn't belong, that's not easy. I really wouldn't wish that kind of pain and suffering on anybody. Certainly that girl has my compassion, and because she's a woman, you can actually see the effect it's having on her emotionally. You know, she can express it. Unfortunately, for a lot of guys who, suffer because they don't have friendships, they're feeling lonely and isolated. They don't even have the ability, they're not in touch with their emotions to even be able to grieve in that way, to actually have that kind of release. But this is definitely not gendered. There's lots of guys out there who are struggling to make any kind of connections with other human beings. When people write to me for dating advice on Hey Hero, often it's because they have a crush on a specific girl, or they need to make some adjustments to their dating life. There's too many ups and downs, or they're having relationship problems with their girlfriend or wife. There's some specific situation that they reach out to me for. They're like, I need your advice, Alexander, on this specific thing. But occasionally I will get messages from men who are like, Alexander, I'm starting from zero. I don't have any social life to speak of. I'm a virgin. I've never kissed a girl. I've never had a girlfriend. What do I do? How do I begin? Those are actually the hardest people to give advice to, because they don't have anything specific that I can, make suggestions based off of. It's just a blank page. When people write to me on Hey Hero, I'd say, please give me lots and lots of detail, because the more information you give me, the more specific my advice can be back to you. But I've received a number of these requests recently on Hey Hero, basically saying, I need help from the bottom up, to start off with dating. And I thought that I would make this video as a kind of generic advice video. So there's nothing specifically individually tailored in it at all. In that, if you started as an emotionally unhealthy, totally clueless, low self-esteem guy with no friends, no dating prospects whatsoever, you're starting from absolute zero, but you wanted a girlfriend, well, what would I tell you? What would my advice be? That's what this video is. But before we get to that, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, T. Hanley. Okay, your appearance is really important when it comes to dating. Having good skin is absolutely essential, because the truth is that it doesn't really matter how good your personality is if women don't even want to speak to you because your appearance is so terrible. Luckily, T. Hanley is tailor-made for guys like me, quite frankly, who are a little bit lazy. When you order their starter box, they'll give you 4 different creams, each with a different purpose to be applied at different times of the day, and you don't even have to memorize it, because they're going to give you this instruction card, which is fantastic. It tells you when to apply it, how much to apply. The skincare products from T. Hanley truly are high quality, highly affordable. I've been using them. A bunch of people use them. If you go onto their website for that starter box I showed you, they have over 5,000 reviews. It's the best bang for your buck system. Before Tej, I didn't have a face cleansing routine. I started using Tej about 3 years ago. At 45 years old, I get a lot of compliments, and many people can't believe that I'm 45. I recommend Tej to all my friends. Noticeable changes. Wish it came in bigger sizes to choose from. Has everything I need to turn back the hands of time. Very satisfied. I use their products, I love them, but don't take my word for it. Go check out the reviews. The starter box is only $30. If you live inside the United States, you get free shipping. And because you're a member of my audience, if you click the link in the description box below, not only are you going to get this starter box at the best possible price, but they're going to throw in a free gift as well. Okay, back to the video, because unfortunately, while good skin is really important, it does take a little bit more than that in order to have a successful dating life. So let's get into it. You're a virgin and you have no friends. So where do you begin? How are you meant to get a girlfriend? Well, the first thing that you need to do is have a very honest look at yourself and ask yourself this question. If you're a woman, would you date you? Do you give off the vibe of being confident, well-adjusted? Are you heading in the right direction? Are you a winner? Do you have positive self-esteem? If not, that has to be your number one priority. You have to like yourself, because if you don't, then how are you going to expect somebody else to? You have to become an emotionally well-adjusted person. So the first recommendation I'd have is to get rid of all of those addictions that you might be suffering from. If you're smoking cigarettes, you're smoking weed, you're drinking alcohol, you're playing too many video games, you're watching too much porn, cut all that stuff out. I'm not here to shame you for those addictions, but the frank truth of it is that you're probably using them as a means of numbing yourself to the existential pain that you're feeling. You know, you've got some emotional distress going on deep in your subconscious, and it threatens to bubble over and send you into depression or anxiety. And so you lose yourself in these addictions. But the time has come. If you want to become that awesome person that you know that you can be, you've got to remove those defense mechanisms and actually confront the core of what are your emotional issues, which is why my second recommendation is that you seek out therapy. I do know some very well-adjusted individuals who had a fantastic childhood and they had really great relationships with their parents. But I tell you what, they're very, very rare. The vast majority of us go into adulthood with a huge amount of unresolved trauma, a lot of grief, a lot of shame, and these childhood issues manifest in our adult lives by inhibiting us, self-limiting beliefs, preventing us from actually reaching our potential. Therapy can help with that. I think of therapy as an opportunity to clear out all of your emotional debt, to feel all the grief and shame and guilt that you've been putting off feeling in a loving context, to cleanse yourself from it so that you're no longer reacting from the past, but you need to clear away all of your history so that you can actually claim your future. And this is going to be absolutely essential for that first step of actually having a positive self-esteem and loving yourself. Because if your mind is filled with negative self-talk, you need to see evidence that another person can like you, can enjoy your company. And that's what a therapist can do. A good therapist who receives you with unconditional positive regard is going to demonstrate to you the kind of relationship that you could have with yourself. If every time you feel insecure or anxious or have an emotional episode, you are down on yourself, very critical, you shame yourself, well, watch what happens in the therapist's office as you bring up these things that you're so ashamed of, that you feel so emotionally vulnerable, and see that other person, hold them with love, care, and compassion. Then that's going to play in your mind, and you're actually going to form new neural pathways in your brain, and you can see, I can treat myself with the same love, care, and compassion that my therapist does. But you can't just stop at a healthy mind. You've got to get that healthy body as well. So cut out all of the junk food and unhealthy crap that you're putting into your body. Start eating healthy and start getting fit. Go for runs, lift weights. I strongly recommend every single man, really no matter where you are in your self-development journey, take up some form of martial arts. Not only is it going to be great for building strength and agility and fitness and things like that, but there just comes with it this incredible surge of masculine confidence when you know that you're able to use your body as a weapon. There's something very primal about that. When you walk down the street and you're encountering other people, you're going to feel that increased presence. It's potent. It's like an injection of confidence into your psyche, and trust me, women will pick up on that. Personally, I also recommend that every single man learn how to dance. I know that some, ultra masculine guys think that, dancing is a feminine, kind of airy-fairy kind of activity. I say, fuck that. You can dance like a man 100%. And it's an important way to actually get in touch with your body. When you hear the music and then you practice moving your body in time, in a rhythm with that music, it creates a new kind of relationship that you have with the outside world, and it lets you sink into your body and become a lot more comfortable actually expressing your feelings, your thoughts through physical activities. Women respond to men who dance. So you're cleaning up your mind, you're cleaning up your body. It's also important to clean up your house. When you wake up in the morning, you need to look around and be happy with what you see. If you're the kind of person who's leaving rubbish around, you've got outdated artwork, your furniture makes you depressed, there's nothing good in the fridge, fix that. Your house is your kingdom. It needs to be a place that you are proud to show other people, because pretty soon you're going to be inviting girls and friends. You're going to be hosting social activities in your house. You want it to reflect positively on you. I'm not saying that you need to own your own house. It could be a house that you're renting, or it could be an apartment, or you could still live with your parents and this is just your bedroom. But it's important that you're making these positive changes here in the present with an eye to the future. You need to have a vision on where you're going. There is something so sad about a man who has no purpose, no direction. He doesn't know what he wants. Somebody who is just highly suggestible and goes along with the plans of other people is not a truly masculine man. A real man leads. He knows what he wants and then he goes after it with confidence and passion. So take the time to actually consider, what is it that you want out of your life in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, in 50 years' time? Where do you want to be? And are you acting right now in order to get to that point? Because I tell you this, if you encounter a woman and you're just floating around, you have no sense of purpose, they are going to ignore you like a leaf blowing on the wind. What they will take notice of is a train moving fast. It knows where it's going. It's on the right track. And if it's moving somewhere positive, she's going to be absolutely itching to hitch a ride. Your plans for your future, your vision for the kind of life that you want to lead is like an energy that's constantly emanating from you, sucking people into your vortex, advertising the kind of person that you're becoming. When you have that clear idea in your mind of where you want to be, it's going to cast a very new light on the kind of life that you're living now. Suddenly, you're going to see everything in a whole new way. You're going to be able to identify all the things that are going on in your life right now that are holding you back. A really important step in this is surrounding yourself with other men who are going in the same direction that you are. It's not enough to simply have male friends if they're all codependent, emotionally distressed, addict kind of guys that just reinforce the sort of doom, gloom, hopelessness of existence. You want passionate, vibrant, alive, confident men. Those are the kind of guys that you need to start spending time with. I think a lot of people get frustrated with me when I give this advice because they're like, Alexander, I want to know how to get a girlfriend. Why do you keep telling me to make male friends? But you got to understand, from my perspective, the girlfriend is not necessarily going to arrive out of a vacuum. She comes at the end of a long process, and that involves creating a proper social circle. And the very foundation of that social circle are your male friends. So find some good ones, ideally guys that have awesome girlfriends. If you've got 10 close male friends and you like them a lot, but none of them have ever even spoken to a girl, then they're hardly going to improve your chances in the dating world. Loyalty to old friends is important. I'm not encouraging you to just completely dismiss everybody as part of your old life, but you've got to start paying attention and identifying male individuals who you would like to emulate, who you know that spending more time with that person is going to improve you. One longtime fan of the channel has talked to me about how important team sports has been for his social life. He plays a lot of basketball, he likes to play badminton, soccer, even like lane bowling. And so he joined all these sports teams, all these sports leagues, and he's met the most amazing guys through those groups. But understand this, when you're making male friends, it's not just about connecting with them as individuals. It's important that you insert yourself into their social circle. That's the real key. It may well be that the first couple of guys that you connect with are fine and pleasant, but they're not really the end goal friends that you're looking for. But this is where you use the social circle leapfrogging strategy. You go to some social events planned by these guys, you meet their social circle, and once you're in that situation, you identify those individuals that you do resonate with, and you be kind of aggressive. You're like, hey man, I really enjoyed chatting to you. I think we get along really well. We should hang out sometime. You insert yourself into their lives, and then that person is going to have a slightly different social circle. And so you go to those events, and then again, you find the most in alignment with you person, and then you leapfrog into their social circle. And you might do this 5 or 6 times before you truly find your tribe. I know that that can seem like a slow, frustrating process, but trust me, when it comes to finding high quality individuals, they all hang out together. And so it's worth taking the time to build that strong foundation and doing it right. And the best social circles are mixed gender. They have guys and girls, often men just with their girlfriends, but other women coming in as well. And it's dynamic. In that way, you're being introduced to new women all the time through a socially vetted, socially approved of social circle, where you're not going to have to deal with ghosting or women being horrible, because in that social circle context, they're too concerned about their reputation to be rude or judgmental. But once you are encountering women, it's really important that you don't make every single relationship an audition for a romance. Guys who don't have a lot of experience with women, or who have been lonely and frustrated for a long period of time, often have real difficulty getting this, because they can interpret almost any act of kindness or interest from a woman as automatically sexual interest. But often it's not. What you need to do is actually create new possibilities in your brain and in your life for female friendships. This is really, really important because women are so different to men. And while it's absolutely essential to watch channels like this to learn about male-female dynamics, it can't possibly compare to actually in-field experience, speaking with women, asking their opinions about things, learning the female perspectives on all kinds of issues. It's essential. It's like in your brain, you need to have two simultaneous programs running. You know, you've got your masculine way of seeing the world, but at the same time, you're understanding that the exact same objective set of facts are being interpreted in a different way according to the feminine value system. And ideally, through enough experience with women, your brain is able to move that information between the two just seamlessly. People often ask me, Alexander, how did you learn so much about women? You know, what books can you recommend? And while, you know, I can recommend a couple of books here and there, what they don't understand is that whatever knowledge I have has come from hundreds, thousands probably, of hours of conversing with women, you know, actual just speaking to them, asking them questions, learning about their value system. You can't replace that. That's invaluable data. Now, luckily for you, I've taken all of that raw data and I've formulated it into, you know, understandable bite-sized pieces of information, and then I've created a YouTube channel on it. And so by watching this video and the other videos on my channel, you are learning about the female mindset. That's fantastic. Keep doing that. But as important as theory is, it's really never going to be a proper substitute for actual experience, which is why I recommend that guys learn some game. They learn some pickup artist stuff. That's kind of what got me started on this path back when I was like 19 or 20. I'd read about stuff online and then I'd go out with my buddies and I'd try it out. That was where it all began. To me, that's not really replaceable. That is an essential step for guys to go through, because if you find yourself in this amazing social circle with high quality women, but you still don't know how to speak to them, you don't know how to approach them, you don't know any flirtation techniques, you don't know how to escalate physically or sexually, then what really any good is there in you being in that environment when you can't actually capitalize on the progress that you've made? So I would recommend going onto YouTube, going onto Google and consuming about 100 hours of theory with regards to PUA stuff, and at least 100 hours of field practice. Ideally, find a close male friend and then go out with him to nightclubs or go out during the day and practice speaking to women. Don't be creepy. Don't make women feel uncomfortable. Don't be overtly sexual. Just practice speaking to women. Develop those skills. So that's my very generic advice, my step-by-step guide. If you're really starting from zero, you're a virgin who has no friends, but you want to get a girlfriend, do all that stuff. If you've been through all of those steps and you're still struggling with your dating and relationships, that's understandable. But hopefully then when you reach out to me on Hey Hero, it can be more along the lines of, I've done all the stuff that you said was essential to do, and now I have this specific problem with this specific woman that I need your advice about. And that I can definitely help with. This video was a little bit different in that I was speaking to a specific demographic of men, which begs the question, well, in my other videos, who exactly am I speaking to? What is my target audience? Who do I imagine that I'm talking to when I make my content? At first, I didn't really know the answer to that question when somebody asked it to me, but as I reflected on it, I actually thought that the answer was quite deep and very revealing about my thought process and where I'm coming from. Anyway, I made an entire Patreon video about this topic. If you want to see that, then please go and sign up at my Patreon. It's just a $5 a month subscription. You get instant access to that video plus like 200 other videos at this point. I think the value is absolutely tremendous. We have a great community. It's a great way to support the creator. I would love to see you over there.